Hi there, we are doing lesson 26. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. It is surely obvious that if you can be attacked, you are not invulnerable. You see attack as a real threat. That is because you believe that you can really attack. So what that means is that we believe somebody else can attack us is because we really think attack is real and justified, like it's something that actually can happen and is necessary and just part of life. And what would have effects through you must also have effects on you. It is this law that will ultimately save you, but you are misusing it now. So this law that is ultimately going to save us, going to awaken us, it's going to allow us to be able to totally be free from the ego is, let me repeat the law. What would have effects through you must also have effects on you. This is what the Course in Miracles teaches about giving and receiving are one. So if I am thinking that I can attack somebody else and that makes them somebody who's going to be weak, it's having an effect on me saying that if I'm attacked by somebody else, then that means I must be weak. Not only that, if I am attacking, I'm scared, which means that I better attack them before they attack me so that I don't experience feeling vulnerable, feeling like a victim. So it's all happening inside of me. Let me read that law again. Sentence number 4 in paragraph 1. And what would have effects through you must also have effects on you. Just because you're doing it to them, it's still affecting you over here. It is this law that will ultimately save you, but you are misusing it now. You think it only hurts them when you attack, and you think it only hurts you when they attack. You must therefore learn how it can be used for your own best interest rather than against them. Paragraph 2. Because your attack thoughts will be projected, you will fear attack. Because we know that we can attack others, we also know others can attack us. And if you fear attack, you must believe that you are not invulnerable. That's right. If you're afraid somebody can hurt you, then you don't believe your eternalness. You don't believe your power as given to you by God. You believe you have the ability to fall prey to somebody else, and that would somehow diminish you, making you vulnerable. That's why you don't know your invulnerability. Attack thoughts, therefore, make you vulnerable in your own mind, which is where the attack thoughts are. If you're believing you can be attacked, you're vulnerable in your own mind. If you don't believe that, then you don't feel vulnerable. You don't have to walk around defending yourself. You don't have to be worried about others attacking you. You're not even concerned about attacking somebody else because it's not in your mind. It's not something that you have given power to. Sentence number 4, paragraph 2. Attack thoughts and invulnerability cannot be accepted together. They contradict each other. If you believe that people can attack, then you believe people can be vulnerable. If you believe somebody can attack you and hurt you, you're believing you're vulnerable. Therefore, you cannot believe. It's impossible for you to trust that you are safe in the mind of God, to trust that you are eternal as God created you, that nothing can hurt you. It could hurt your body, but you're not your body. And until you know you're not your body, you're not going to be free, because if you believe your body can be hurt, you're going to be protecting it. If you're going to be protecting it, it's because you believe people can attack you. So that thought going through you is affecting you as well. Paragraph 3. The idea for today introduces the thought that you always attack yourself first. Why? Because if I say you can hurt me, I've attacked myself. I've made myself a victim. I've already said I can possibly be hurt. It's already happened in my mind the minute that I am out there attacking somebody else. If attack thoughts must entail the belief that you are vulnerable, their effect is to weaken you in your own eyes. If attack thoughts must entail the belief that you are vulnerable, their effect is to weaken you in your own eyes. If somebody can attack me, or if I can attack somebody else, it automatically implies that we are vulnerable beings. Something can hurt us. In our own eyes, we've already attacked our truth. We have introduced a lie that the ego is using to keep us scared and vulnerable and protecting ourselves, not fully embracing all that we are, because we're defending always a piece of ourselves. Thus, they have attacked your perception of yourself. And because you believe in them, you can no longer believe in yourself. A false image of yourself has come to take the place of what you are. If you don't believe you're invulnerable, you're always going to be somewhere, somehow in the back of your mind on the defensive, watching out for the car that's going to run you over, watching out for the person who might be mean to you, watching out for the place who's going to cheat you in a bill, watching out for possibly getting fired, on the defense that somebody's cheating on you and it's going to abandon you. You'll walk around with a gnawing sense in the back of your mind that you are vulnerable and bad things can happen to you. If you believe this, you don't know who you are, period. Paragraph 4. Practice with today's idea will help you to understand that vulnerability or invulnerability is the result of your own thoughts. Remember, this is a course in mind training. That's what A Course in Miracles is all about. If you believe you're vulnerable, you're going to act like a vulnerable potential victim. If you believe in your invulnerability, you're trusting that what God said is true is true. What is there to fear? That's where fear disappears, because you realize that God loves us so much that we're safe in God's mind. Yes, we're seeing things in the world that are not nice, but they're not nice because a bunch of egos are projecting their own insecurities, their own fears, their own lacks. And we have to pull out of that matrix and begin to accept the truth of who we are, so that in our invulnerability, we can become gentle, defenseless. So let me keep going. Paragraph 4, sentence number 2. Nothing except your thoughts can attack you. Nothing. The other person, no matter what they say, cannot affect you inside. It's your belief about them that affects you. Nothing except your thoughts can make you think you are vulnerable. And nothing except your thoughts can prove to you this is not so. So when Ken was busy thinking that I was going to cheat on him, those were thoughts in his mind. So in his mind, thinking I would cheat on him, he began to feel weak. And in his weakness, he had to protect himself because he thought he could be hurt by me. So him having those thoughts in his mind didn't have, well, in the beginning it had power because I wanted to convince him. I wanted to prove to him I wasn't doing that. Why? Because if I could prove to him, then he would not attack me anymore. And I didn't want to be attacked because attack didn't feel good. Well, it only didn't feel good when I was believing his attacks were real. But once I decided, because I knew better, and it took me a little while to move out of that space of feeling vulnerable, was, wait a second. In my invulnerability, my safety lies. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. He's having thoughts in his mind. I'm not going to buy into that anymore. I'm not even going to justify them. I'm not even going to talk about them. I am just going to let him know, sweetie, take your money. Let's do a post-op. Let's do whatever it takes for you to feel safe. But I'm already safe in this relationship. And that's when I began to be in that relationship and no longer be reactive to those thoughts that he was having. Yes, at times there was a reaction, but very quickly, I could shift to say, he doesn't know that he's invulnerable. If he knew his eternalness, he wouldn't be having those thoughts. So my work was to love on somebody who was having insane thoughts. I was extending love to him, compassion. But I had to stop thinking those thoughts about me so that I could come to the truth of who I am, because I couldn't see his truth if I wasn't grounded in mine. Paragraph 5. 6 practice periods are required in applying today's idea. A full 2 minutes should be attempted for each of them, although the time may be reduced to a minute if the discomfort is too great. Do not reduce it further. Paragraph 6. The practice periods should begin with repeating the idea for today, then closing your eyes and reviewing the unresolved questions whose outcomes are causing you concern. The concern may take the form of depression, worry, anger, a sense of imposition, fear, foreboding, or preoccupation. Any problem as yet unsettled that tends to recur in your thoughts during the day is a suitable subject. You will not be able to use very many for any one practice period because a longer time than usual should be spent with each one. Today's idea should be applied as follows. First, name the situation. I am concerned about Spencer's behavior. Then go over every possible outcome that has occurred to you in that connection and which has caused you concern, referring to each one quite specifically, saying, I am afraid his death might happen. I am afraid getting kicked out from school might happen. I am afraid his friends not liking him might happen. I am afraid it might bother me. I am afraid he could get hurt in a car accident. I am afraid my husband at the time, his stepfather, might get mad at me. Paragraph 8. If you are doing the exercises properly, you should have some 5 or 6 distressing possibilities available for each situation you use, and quite possibly more. It is much more helpful to cover a few situations thoroughly than to touch on a larger number. As the list of anticipated outcomes for each situation continues, you will probably find some of them, especially those that occur to you toward the end, less acceptable to you. Try, however, to treat them all alike to whatever extent you can. After you have named each outcome of which you are afraid, tell yourself, that thought is an attack on myself. So if I'm believing that Spencer can be hurt, it's an attack on myself. If I am believing that Spencer could lose his friends, it's an attack on myself. Why? Because that is coming through me has an effect on me. If Spencer can be hurt, that means I can be hurt. That makes me a victim, potential victim, and it's making Spencer a potential victim. It doesn't honor his power. It doesn't honor mine. That's why that thought is an attack upon myself. If you're thinking it, the attack on you comes first. It has to happen here. It has an effect here before it gets projected out. We don't think about that, but that's exactly what the ego is doing to us, is convincing us of our vulnerability, of our weakness, of our potential to be hurt, and it makes us fearful people, which is why we have to protect and defend ourselves, according to the ego. So let me read the last line. Conclude each practice period by repeating today's idea to yourself once more. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. Thanks a lot for being a part of this lesson, and I'll see you at the next one.